It's been nearly 48 hours since a tornado tore through Putnam County, leveling neighborhoods and taking 18 lives. That loss hitting this community extremely hard.
I was one of the 7 media witnesses selected to witness this electrocution tonight here in Nashville.
Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and Sevierville all coming out against those statements from that commissioner last night. Now, since that meeting, a hashtag boycott Sevier County has been trending on social media.
Here, I want to show you some of the most extensive damage I've seen yet here in East Tennessee because of the severe weather.
We've just been told to move out of the way. There's too much smoke here by the Loudoun County Fire Department. It's hard to breathe out here. The smoke is so thick. The fire department is asking us to back up.
Guys, I think I really do enjoy that new title as the entertainment reporter. We're not too far from Music City, but tonight Music City's coming to us right here in East Tennessee. Look at the bow tie here. It's got a little bit of gold glitter in there. Perfect for Dolly, so maybe she's got some sparkles going on. I brought my sparkly bow tie out, so it'll be looking good for Dolly.
The Vols kick off March Madness against Colgate on Friday, so we decided to come up here to Morristown to the Colgate factory to see how they make this toothpaste and just find out who they're pulling for.
If anyone in Morristown has a carrot, we'd like you to come out to Cherokee Park and maybe help finish this snowman here. We've seen about 4 inches of snow in Morristown over the last maybe 24 hours.
They have 38 brand new cars here on the lot, and you would still have plenty of money left over. So definitely, if I'm going to win the Mega Millions, which I've already got my winning ticket, I know it, I'm definitely going to be buying one of these beautiful cars.
Lisa Bolton's office takes her where she's needed most.
Typically, if I'm getting in the car, it's going to take me at least an hour to go see a kid. So this is literally my office. Welcome to my office.
She travels from Chattanooga to Johnson City and everywhere in between.
The person that made the referral will say, I know you probably can't go out that far. I'm like, yes, I can. I can go out that far.
Lisa travels deep into the eastern part of the state, and often for dark cases.
They're very isolated, and so when I come into the home, there's a lot of sadness and loneliness in the air.
Lisa is the director for youth services at the Community Coalition Against Human Trafficking, a position created last year because so many kids needed help.
As we had so many kids experiencing trafficking that were falling through the cracks. Nobody really knew what to do with them.
In many cases, parents or family members are selling children for sex, to feed addictions, pay rent, and even buy groceries.
I definitely get cases where I'm like, wow, I can't believe that happened.
In 2019, the coalition received nearly 80 referrals for kids needing help. Half accepted it, and Lisa was the one to provide it, through counseling and connecting them to other services.
I bring that hope back to them that they can trust an adult in their life to always be there for them.
Even though Lisa's caseload has nearly doubled in the last year, it's not because the problem is getting worse. It's because East Tennesseans are recognizing the trouble and reporting it.
It's quite amazing how people in our community have stepped up and said no more. We're not going to let traffickers run rampant in our community. We're not going to let family members do this to their children. We're going to stand up and we're going to help children in our community.
A shift in attitude that's keeping this movement in gear.
It's dust to dust, ashes to ashes.
An old saying coming back in a literal way.
When people died, they had home funerals, and they buried them, within 24, 36 hours. There was no embalming, there was no metal casket, there was no concrete vaults, and that was the way it was.
Over the years, caskets and funerals have become more elaborate. Even so, the average traditional funeral costing about $10,000.
There comes a point where we all kind of go, wait a minute, does it have to be this way? Why does it have to be so complicated?
Looking for alternatives, many are turning to cremation.
That people should be able to live according to their values and die according to their values.
Others looking to our past.
Hey, this is the way we've done it for thousands of years. Can we not continue to do that?
Natural burials making a comeback across the country, including here in East Tennessee.
At the simplest level, we've had a couple of people buried wrapped in a sheet. And then we've had shrouds, which would be a more ceremonial covering, like a linen covering.
Mitzi Wood oversees the Natural Burial Preserve at Narrow Ridge in Washburn, the first of its kind in the state.
Many people don't know they have another option, and they find meaning in being buried in a way that doesn't negatively impact the planet and that honors these natural cycles of death, life and death.
A burial can be free if your friends and family want to dig your grave. Here, it's not strangers laying loved ones to rest.
And putting it into the grave and actually putting soil on top of the body, if you so choose, all of that is part of the grieving process, and it's a lot more healing, I think, than being totally isolated from the death of the loved one.
And even if a place like Narrow Ridge isn't the right fit, it's starting to open minds about the future of death.
Consumers of funeral services are now going to conventional cemeteries and saying, yeah, I need your services. I don't want to pull off a funeral all on my own. But can we do it without embalming? And can I choose a biodegradable casket?
And alternatives seem to be what families are looking for.
I think that that's a really meaningful way to go out, knowing that that you're not just taking, but you're giving back.
In Washburn, Justin McDuffie, WVLT News. 2-year-old Sawyer Kimberlin opening birthday presents.
It was, one of the cutest things you'd ever see.
That was just last Saturday.
I'd kissed him so many times just on his little head, and that was completely out of character for me, and now, now I'm glad I did. I'm glad I wouldn't take that back for anything.
Clint Pitts had no idea it would be one of the last times he saw his nephew.
Just to think that they are all gone is just. It's unbelievable.
Tuesday's tornado killing little Sawyer along with his parents, Aaron and Josh.
I obviously loved him more than anything else in my life, but they were his parents. They just obviously loved him that much more.
The couple met in college. Clint says they were truly opposites that balanced each other out. Josh an engineer, Aaron a teacher, but their careers were just a small part of who they were. They lived their life defined by their faith.
Everybody that knew them knew that they were Christians, and Sawyer was got to grow up in their footsteps.
Faith is what Clint says will get them through the tough days ahead.
We know they're together, and so it is as much comfort as we can take in anything like that. It is knowing they're together is helpful.
And their memories live on in pictures and videos. Clint says he'll treasure forever.
To think just a few days ago they were all three here, and so it absolutely gives me something to hold on to.
Walking into downtown hardware is a little different.
Hey, Duke.
This isn't your average place for nuts and bolts.
How you doing?
It's what customers have become accustomed to.
Yes, sir. What can we help you with?
For more than 6 decades.
With my father back in the 50s when I was a little boy.
It's been a place Oak Ridgers can count on.
Well, it's just anything you want, he can get for you, and they help you out. If you got lawnmowers needed fixing or something, it's just a handy place to be.
The family-owned shop now in the hands of its second generation, siblings Ann and Roger.
The local community has been great to support us as a small business.
Even when they weren't the only place in town anymore.
Over the years, Kmart came in town, Walmart came in, and then we had Home Depot opened. And so what we tried to focus on were the things that we could do that maybe they couldn't.
That's what makes the next chapter for downtown hardware so difficult.
We know it will affect the community, but we feel like we wanted to end well, and we want to continue to be able to serve people the way we've always done. And as that's grown more difficult over the years, we just knew this was the time.
Come the end of February, they'll close the doors for good and step into retirement.
It's going to be bittersweet, but I think I can feel satisfied that we've done a good job and we've done what our father would expect us to do.
In Oak Ridge,
we appreciate you.
Justin McDuffie, WVLT News.